Jamaica, a God-fearing country, faith, and the foundations of real estate, by Jamaica Homes, published on August 30th, 2025. There is something almost poetic about Jamaica, the way the mountains meet the sea, the vibrancy of life in its towns and villages, and the rhythm of communities deeply rooted in faith. Many would agree that Jamaica is still a God-fearing country, though perhaps less so than in generations past. Faith continues to shape the way people live, love, and invest, particularly when it comes to one of the most tangible expressions of security, real estate. For Jamaicans, the house, the land, and the family are not merely possessions. They are intertwined with values, belief, and a sense of legacy. Streets filled with vibrant, beautiful Black Jamaican people, going about their daily lives, richly textured clothing, expressive faces, warm sunlit skin tones, immersive cinematic atmosphere. Faith is the bedrock. In Jamaica, faith is not a concept. It is the foundation upon which communities are built. Walking through towns across the island, it is striking how the church remains at the heart of life. Unlike some other countries where pubs mark social and cultural hubs, in Jamaica, the church often occupies the central square. Denominations of every kind, Baptist, Anglican, Pentecostal, Seventh-day Adventist, dot the landscape. They shape more than Saturday and Sunday rituals. They influence ethics, community initiatives, and even the way families approach property ownership. In Jamaica, faith is tangible. You can see it in the way a family prays over a new home, in the way a community gathers to rebuild after a storm, in the stories passed down of ancestors who worked the land with devotion and hope. Many believe this God-fearing nature has played a role in the island's resilience. Hurricanes that batter other parts of the Caribbean often skirt Jamaica or lose force before reaching its shores. While science points to geographical explanations, the island's shape, its position in the Caribbean, it is impossible to ignore the spiritual narrative that divine protection is at work. Every storm that passes without devastation is, for believers, a reaffirmation of faith. Historical foundations: faith, marriage, and land. Jamaica's history of real estate is inseparable from its spiritual and social history. Land was never merely an asset. It was a symbol of survival, a manifestation of family vision, and a testament to faith. From colonial times, households understood that stewardship was sacred. Marriages were often practical partnerships, joining not only two people, but also resources, labor, and dreams for the future. Estates were built with care, with the understanding that the land would carry blessings and responsibilities alike. Owning land in Jamaica was, and still is, an act of faith. Every fence, every foundation stone laid was a prayer, a promise to future generations that the family would endure, prosper, and honor the Creator through stewardship. Couples often worked side by side, guided by faith, to establish homes that could withstand storms and generations. Churches supported these endeavors, offering counsel, moral guidance, and a network of community support. Real estate, in this context, was never purely financial. It was deeply personal, spiritual, and social. Present-day realities. Today, Jamaica continues to balance tradition with modernity. While urbanization and globalization bring new pressures, faith remains a guiding principle in real estate investment. Families consider property not just as shelter or profit, but as a legacy. Married couples pray over contracts, consult spiritual advisors, and view each home as a platform for stability and future prosperity. Investors, both local and international, often note how Jamaica's cultural emphasis on faith and community impacts property decisions. Homes are built not only to generate financial returns, but to nurture family, anchor communities, and reflect values. Even amid legal frameworks, market trends, and environmental concerns, faith offers clarity. It reminds people why they build, who they build for, and what lasting impact they hope to achieve. To invest in property in Jamaica is to invest in life itself. It is a marriage of vision and faith, a commitment to generations unseen, and a declaration that stability, beauty, and integrity are worth cultivating. The island's perceived protection from hurricanes and other natural disasters adds another layer to this philosophy. Whether seen as divine intervention or fortunate geography, Jamaicans often interpret each avoided storm as a blessing, a moment to reflect, be grateful, and recommit to stewardship. Looking ahead, faith, real estate, and the future. As Jamaica grows, urban centers expand, and coastal developments rise, the principles of faith and stewardship remain essential. Modern investors must navigate zoning laws, climate resilience, and community engagement, but the spiritual lens, considering what is morally right, what benefits the family, and what honors God, remains relevant. Couples increasingly recognize that property is more than a purchase, it is a partnership, an expression of faith, and a tangible legacy. The island's God-fearing identity, though evolving, is far from diminished. Communities still rally in times of hardship, and spiritual guidance continues to influence life choices. For those investing in real estate or building families, faith offers perspective, grounding, and an enduring sense of purpose. God-fearing country. Jamaica's identity as a God-fearing country is alive in its land, homes, and hearts. Faith, marriage, and real estate have long been intertwined, shaping the island's history and defining its present. From ancestors who worked the land with reverence to modern couples navigating the complexities of investment, the principle remains. Property is not just wealth. It is legacy, responsibility, and blessing. For anyone investing in Jamaica, understanding this spiritual cultural context is essential. Faith guides decision-making, shapes communities, and even, believers would say, protects the island from the worst of nature's fury. Each home, each plot of land, and each community built reflects centuries of devotion, stewardship, and vision. In the end, Jamaica's God-fearing nature is more than tradition. It is a living, breathing force, influencing real estate, marriages, and the everyday choices that create a resilient and thriving nation. And for those of us fortunate to live, work, and invest here, that is a blessing that is felt deeply and celebrated continually. Disclaimer: the images used in this post are for illustrative purposes only. They do not depict actual properties, individuals, or events mentioned, and are intended solely to enhance the reader's understanding of the content.